It's your boy Nungun in the house, back with another bang on video where, ladies and gentlemen, unbelievable news for you guys, because this has been a rollicking stuff that you guys will love this news. Well, what I've got here right now, and also I have a news which is definitely going to be really sad when I address it. But moving on, Eddie Nketiah, ladies and gentlemen, has opened up about what happened against Manchester City and how he thinks what would be the future for Arsenal. He says, tough results to take last night, but a great feeling to be back out there and have the opportunity to support such an important message. At the rate Arsenal, hashtag Black Lives Matter, Eddie Nketiah has done it for Arsenal. Well, moving on, Mikel Arteta has opened up about the future of Eddie Nketiah at Arsenal. He says, I want him to keep doing what he's doing. The way he played last night against those players in those difficult conditions for me is extraordinary at his age. That's unbelievable, isn't it? But not only this, I think Mikel Arteta says he's not prepared to accept an Arsenal team which is standing still. But what about one which is going backwards? Well, why on earth would Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang agree to sign a new contract if it means playing wet nurse to Eddie Nketiah and Bukayo Saka? Just like Robin van Persie, says Fabregas, Samir Nasri, Gael Clichy, and Alexis Sanchez before him, Aubameyang is realizing that Arsenal is no place for a player with dreams of winning major titles. Now it's up to Arteta to show that he is made of a sterner stuff as he prepares himself for a summer of discontent. We are definitely, I'm waiting for the summer transfer window, not because just to cover all the news about it, but I would want to see if there's going to be a ruthlessness in terms of recruiting new players and definitely removing certain players who are definitely not belonging here in terms of seeking and committing to the club. If they're not doing that, what does Arteta do with them? Well, not only this, let's talk about a player who's been linked with Arsenal and who recently was stated that he would sign for Watford. Papa Gueye, I spoke about him, the La Havre midfielder. His entourage has spoken that Arsenal also contacted us with a salary 3 times better, but Pape wants to play in Ligue 1 for 2 or 3 years before going abroad, and Marseille is clearly on his shortlist. They would be a superb club for him. So it's pretty much clear that Papa Gueye wants to stay in Ligue 1 in France itself and is targeting at Marseille. Let's see if that's going to be happening or not. But talking about Premier League, a big money move, well, that will happen only after 2 or 3 years until Havre's Papa Gueye gets more and more experience. Well, moving on, William Saliba could yet feature for Arsenal this season under exceptional circumstances given Arsenal's defensive injuries and suspensions after his loan at Saint-Etienne officially ends on June 30th. And Arteta has spoken about the young players, what he feels about it. He says, what we do today or in next 5 weeks will be a big impact on what we have to do in the summer. We have to put a plan to improve our squad, that's first. Fulfill the ambitions that we have the right players to support the talented young players that we have. The young players are still in the very early stages of their development, and we have to know that, but we don't have time. The demands of this football club are huge and we cannot stay still. We have to change things. We have to improve them. So these are the right kind of words that I'm actually hearing from Mikel Arteta. So he's asking the players to step up. This is the right time. There's no time to, wait and grow up. Whatever you know, just put it on the plate and let's see if that's the best for Arsenal or not. Because on the pitch, teams like Manchester City or any other team who's fighting for the relegation battle is gonna fight for each and every minute of those 90 minutes. So just step up for your club. Give your 100 and 200%. Not 100% is not enough. Give your 200%. Every bit, every drop of energy that you've got, do it for the club. Well, also, Premier League clubs have agreed that fielding players who had returned from season-long loan deals should be prohibited as it would damage the sporting integrity of the remainder of the season, although this could be reviewed in exceptional circumstances. Well, if Arsenal, lose all their defenders, that could be exceptional circumstances to let William Saliba play for Arsenal, but let's see. The League Cup faces the prospect of being played without the top 7 Premier League sides next season, with 2 rounds of Champions League and Europa League likely to clash with the cup caused by the delayed start to the campaign. So it's going to be problematic, but the lower ranked teams will be playing only the cup games. So let's see. Mesut Ozil is determined to see out the final year of his contract despite Arsenal seeking to offload the midfielder this summer for financial reasons. Ozil's lavish wage, a club record figure, is partly based on Ozil's huge commercial appeal, and therefore there is some financial benefit to Arsenal in keeping him for the 2020-2021 campaign. Also, a trusted source has said that Mesut Ozil is still supportive and believer in the vision and the project of Arteta, despite the coach's decision to exclude him entirely from the Manchester City match. Well, we all saw the post, didn't we? We did. We definitely did. Well, Ian Wright has spoken about Black Lives Matter. The point where he was racially abused on Instagram by a fan. He was messaged in a very inappropriate ways. I have actually shared it with you. I'll still share it again because Ian Wright has shared these things. It's disgraceful, and he's posted this. These aren't isolated incidents. It's daily. This is what I received for posting and talking about Black Lives Matter yesterday. The abuse started a week earlier. The taunting is terrifying, coming back and back again. So he's been, abused, racially abused every single time. And this is what he posted. And it's shame. Shame on this person. Unbelievable. It's 2020 and we are still living in the 1600s mentality. These guys are evolving, but backwards. Why is it happening? Well, moving on. Well, Mesut Ozil has spoken about, James Ollie actually has spoken about Mesut Ozil. He says, it remains to be seen whether Arsenal would be prepared to subsidize part of his salary to help interested clubs like Fenerbahce. Fenerbahce were among several sides monitoring the situation last summer, but Ozil is settled in London and will not agitate for a move. And also, Mesut Ozil's fitness continues to be assessed ahead of a potential recall for the game against Brighton. And because Arsenal are travelling to Brighton and Hove Albion on Saturday, desperate to bounce back from their desperately disappointing return to action at Manchester City on Wednesday night, things had started well enough for the Gunners before Pablo Mari's injury preceded a 25-minute David Luiz disaster class that saw Arsenal go 2-0 down. Mikel Arteta cannot allow his players to feel sorry for themselves. However, with games coming thick and fast, starting with Saturday's trip to the south coast to face the Seagulls, Graham Potter's men are yet to win a match in 2020, so could provide the ideal opponents for Arsenal to get themselves going again as they try and cling on to faint hopes of reaching next season's Champions League, or probably European football for that matter. Well, moving on. FIFA 21 will be released on October 9th, and you could get your hands on a series of incredible bonuses if you pre-order. With the PlayStation 5 and Xbox X Series X coming out later this year, EA Sports have revealed FIFA 21 will be available on both current and next generation consoles. If you buy it, then decide to upgrade your console, there's a neat little perk for you. Enjoy if you can. But moving on. Eddie Howe says Arsenal target Ryan Fraser has played his last game for Bournemouth following his refusal to sign a new contract. Brutal, but Fraser is expected to sign for the Gunners when the season ends. Also, Tom Barkley has tweeted that Eddie Howe says Ryan Fraser has played his last game for Bournemouth. He won't be involved in the final few games before his contract expires. It's pretty much here because they're battling relegation, so you don't want half-hearted players, yeah? Adrian Durham has accused Mesut Ozil of undermining Arsenal boss Mikel Arteta. Well, Durham actually said that he sent a tweet out on Thursday trying to tell the Arsenal fans how much he loves Arsenal. It was him holding the badge while playing for the Gunners. That tweet is designed to undermine the manager who said he left him out for tactical reasons. Now, whether you agree with Arteta or not regarding this situation, regarding that decision, Mesut Ozil is disrupting Mikel Arteta there. He's making life difficult for him. He's done with other managers in the past. He's now doing it with Arteta, and it just can't go on. And also, Martin Keown thinks Arsenal should move on from David Luiz and start focusing on players who will be the future of the club. Well, he said, it is about whether players are good enough to be part of the future at the football club. Is David Luiz good enough? I would never have signed him in the first place, but he is there and Arteta has to make the most of it. He's not blessed with too many options. It is worrying that Arteta is really backing a player that probably isn't good enough. I don't want to humiliate him further. We all have bad performances, but it is one after another. He keeps making schoolboy mistakes. They should be investing time in players that they believe in for the future and not one not now who is past his best. I do not believe David Luiz is the answer for the future. He came out of Chelsea dressing room where a young Frank Lampard saw him as a problem and was laying down the law. Arsenal brought a problem to their doorstep when they were already recovering from difficult decisions they had made in the past with Alexis Sanchez and Mesut Ozil. I think it is a clean break and start again. But moving on, Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta spoke about Brighton ahead. He says, I think he's changed completely in terms of Brighton, the way Brighton plays. He sounds very convincing, and I think the players are buying into what he's doing as well. They are a threat. They showed at the Emirates that if you're not at it on the day, they're going to create a lot of issues. We better be ready because it's going to be a really tough game for us. Well, Kia Joorabchian has actually had an interview recently with TalkSport's Jim White. Jim White asked him, does David Luiz want to stay at Arsenal? Kia said yes. He said he did. And Jim again asked, how have Arsenal shown a willingness to keep him? Kia said absolutely. And Jim White says, will he be wearing an Arsenal shirt in July? Kia said, we'll find out before June 23rd. So it's all about June 23rd. Just 4 days from now, we'll come to know if David Luiz's future is with Arsenal or not. Because Arsenal star Perry Groves has spoken about his criticism for David Luiz. He says, David Luiz is a fantastic footballer, but is not a fantastic defender. Everybody's not surprised, are they? If they don't make up Mikel Arteta's mind, I'll be amazed. Arsenal target Ryan Fraser is reportedly demanding more than 100k a week to sign a free agent as a free agent. He wants a lot of money, isn't it? Well, moving on, Bayern Munich are looking to sell David Alaba this summer, and it looks like Alaba is out of contract next summer, and Bayern are keen to cash in to avoid the risk of losing him for free. Liverpool, Manchester City, Manchester United, and Arsenal have all been linked with the defender in the past, and he is valued at around £45 million. So if they can wait for a year, they can have him for free. But those wages are definitely going to burn, will definitely add a big hole in that wage bill for your club. Well, these were the news of the day. I hope you enjoyed whatever came your way. All your news and everything about Arsenal comes on this platform every single day, twice. So sit back, relax, and make sure you subscribe on this channel, because when you do that, you get 2 videos about Arsenal every single day. I will see you in my next video. Until then, cheers, and don't forget to subscribe, because we're on a mission of reaching 5,000 subscribers as soon as possible. Help me reach there and help my reach of the page to reach out to a lot of Arsenal fans who are actually looking out for a platform which provides daily news for them.